Well, you know that sound, folks. You bet. That's another Noon Whistle, and I'm Chris Stradier. If you're wondering, Mr. Henderson, our guest, he and I are just going to have just a conversation because my partner in crime, Mr. Anzalone, is truly having technical difficulties. The darn internet. But welcome, John, to the Noon Whistle. Thanks for being here. You are a fellow Rotarian and a local viewer. Uh-oh. I think I spoke prematurely. Guess who's popping in? Look at this.
Hey, there
look at that, huh?
Yeah, had some technical difficulties there, but glad to join you.
So you hit the on button. That's what you had to do?
You just repower. If you
repower. Well, okay, I was just introducing John as a fellow Rotarian, but welcome, Mr. Anzalone, for making it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Where are we at here? How far have you gone?
You can get going right now based on our plan.
All right. Well, I forgot the plan, but John, we're gonna test you a little bit before we get started. Have some fun here.
All right.
All right. This is totally improv, so we'll see how you do. So I'm gonna go through buildings in town, and I'd like you to reach back in your memory and tell me what was in there in the 70s, 80s. Okay.
We need a lot more time than we got now.
I'm only gonna give you a few.
Okay.
All right. So someplace else building.
Someplace else was a dry goods store way back, and then it was the Chicago store.
Okay. How about Friends on the Square on North Wisconsin Street?
Well, that was actually Reed Furniture, and then it was the Deacon's Isle store.
You forgot about Kunkel's. I'm surprised.
And Kunkel's Pharmacy too. Yeah, that's had many iterations.
All right. How about going back? Do you know where Functional Fitness is on the corner of South Wisconsin and Geneva?
I don't know where that is. Functional Fitness. Is that the new one? You mean it's just coming in there?
No, it's right on the corner. It's a building they were just working on. It's stucco. And I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a bowling alley when I grew up. I learned how to bowl in there.
All right.
I think it was a hardware store. It was a hardware store too, either before or after that.
Well, John, I think we got to make sure that all our viewers here are chiming in on comments and see if they can not only tell us how they know Mr. Henderson, who is a 64 graduate of Elkhorn Area High School, but also see if they can stump him on some of our geography and trivia. What do you think?
Yeah, have them message in while we're going.
So okay. I got to tell you about my school in Elkhorn because I went 9 years. I always say I went 9 years in the 1887 building, kindergarten through 8th grade, but actually it was only 8 years because I'm the leading edge of the baby boomers. And in 5th grade, my class was in the armory.
Whoa!
Wow!
Which was pretty fun because you could kind of get out of there and probably get a candy bar out of the vending machine and go in the bathroom and eat it when you're supposed to not be doing that. We had a lot of fun over there.
How big was the class, your graduating class in the Army?
About 110.
Wow.
Okay.
That's bigger than I thought.
Yeah. Those soldiers got home from the war and made babies, but my father didn't go to the war. In fact, I graduated in 64, as you mentioned earlier, but then I went to Madison, the University of Wisconsin, and graduated in 68 with a degree in marketing, business degree in marketing. And in 1968, there was a lot of jobs available, but they were all in Vietnam, and I flunked the draft physical. I didn't argue with them. So I came home, and I ended up working in my father had built his own gas station in 1940, and he got cars after the war, after World War II. And so we had a small town auto dealership that I started working in. We ended up buying the business and paid for that. Then we bought the buildings and paid for those. And we were very successful, but it just wasn't really me. So in 1988, I sold that business to actually Jerry Tash, who was a Chevy Buick dealer at the time. And then he moved out. We both needed new facilities, which was one of the reasons I wanted to sell. And he built the new places south of town where Kunis is now. Kunis bought out Tash eventually.
So John, I bought my first car from you.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure you don't remember me, but I did buy my first.
I remember you now, but one of my
lemon?
Probably.
We'll talk about that later.
One of my weaknesses is remembering names of people. And And so when I was in the car business, I'd have somebody come in, and if I couldn't remember their name, I'd go look at see what their car was. Then I could remember who they were.
I had a little bit more hair then, John.
Yeah, me too. So at any rate, then in 1989, I got into commercial real estate business and had a 25-year career there. I did a lot of local things. In fact, I'm sure I did more industrial real estate deals in Walworth County than everybody else put together during that 25 years. But my real claim to fame was working with companies that had locations in multiple states or countries. Companies like Snap-on Tool, those are recognizable ones. I had others, but I did some work for Harley Davidson and others like that you'd name, but I did a lot of other work. In fact, I had a career beyond my wildest dreams. I've always been active in the community, though. Even when I was in the automobile business, I was on what was the original Elkhorn Economic Development Corporation.
What year was that?
Well, it was about 10 years, and I was just finishing up about the year that I sold the car business. So we actually, when Highway 43 went through, the state bought a farm there, and then the deal was that they were supposed to then basically sell the extra land back to the city. Well, we had to sue the state to get that land back, and that's where the original industrial park was.
Oh,
so it's pretty interesting.
By the way, we have fellow Rotarians who have already liked the podcast. That would be Chris Clapper and Shelley Higgins. So we're hoping that they can chime in with some questions for John.
That'd be great.
So John, I know you as a Rotarian. So talk to me about how long you've been a Rotarian, why you've stayed with the organization for as long as you have and still remain so active.
Well, one of the things that happened was that my grandfather and my father and my uncle were all in the Kiwanis Club. And when some Rotarians from Burlington came over, we were going to start a Rotary Club in Elkhorn. It seemed they asked me if I'd be interested. I was only 23, so I was pretty young to be a Rotarian at that time. But we joined, and it's been a big part of my life and my wife's life, for that matter. She's not a Rotarian, but she might as well be. I've been, active in that. And one of the things that Rotary's been active in almost the entire time that we've been a club, and that's 54 years now, I've been a Rotarian, that is in youth exchange. And our family hosted 6 students over the years, but Rotary has the largest youth exchange program in the world, but that's because it sends people from everywhere to everywhere, not just the U.S. to everywhere. And it's been wonderful. So we have, and through other things, Rotary has fellowships. We're part of an international travel and hosting fellowship. And we've got friends through Rotary really all over the world. It's rare that we can't find somebody to get together with, no matter where we are. And so I'd say the community involvement, Rotary has been unbelievable. In fact, we're just in the midst of our probably largest project lately, and that was to raise money to improve Babe Man Park. Mm-hmm. Originally, Rotary paid for a lot of the original little shelter was out there, and after probably 40 years, it was shot, and the city built a new one. We donated money to improve that, so caterers had a place to go, and we raised with our 12 Days of Christmas raffle last year, and sponsorships from mainly the companies in the business park, because it's in the business park out there. We raised over $40,000 and a lot of that is going to help improve things at Babe Man Park. Things like picnic tables, benches, at the new fishing pier that's there. We teamed up with the city to pay for half of that. It's just been a really great project.
Yeah. So John, been a Rotarian for a long time. Why, if I was working in town, from town, and why would I want to join Rotary? What would attract me to join Rotary?
Well, I think that's probably changed over time. Originally, even when I was in, Rotary was all men. We let women come in 87.
Good move.
But it was kind of, you had to be the owner or the manager of the business. And there was rules about attendance. You had to attend, or maybe you wouldn't be a member anymore. There's lots of things. Those are all gone. So Rotary now is really is open to anybody, that you don't have to have a job even. It's open to anybody that would like to do good things in their community or the world. I mean, it's pretty much, if you want to do good things to make life better wherever you are, or in other parts of the world, you're welcome. And we would encourage anybody that might see this to come and visit us for a few times and see if it's for you.
What could I expect if I go to a Rotary meeting?
Well, our club actually meets Wednesday noons at the community room at the library, and we always have a meal. But that was one of the barriers to entry, was the cost of the meal. So we have meals optional for members. So it really can. But you're going to come and you're going to find out we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that there's really the leaders in the community are members. We're the largest service club in the community by far. We have 50 members right now, and we've got another one joining shortly. So typically we have 25 to 30 members at a meeting now.
So let's one of the things that I appreciate, and Mr. Anzalone, please chime in. John and I, our positions intersect in community groups and economic development and technical college, and I see you over there too, John Henderson, walking through Gateway. Let's circle back to your role on the economic development space. I know you're still, as John and I are, on the Elkhorn Economic Development Alliance. What are some priorities that you see for Walworth County and primarily Elkhorn from your current position on Rotary and the Economic Development Alliance?
It's a good question. And actually, you're involved in this too, because the biggest need that we have in Elkhorn and a lot of the rest of Walworth County is to have single family housing. And due to economic circumstances and cost of materials and so forth, it's been almost impossible to build first starter homes in single family. But we need to get development going anyway, because people then move out of their older home into something newer, even if it's more expensive, and then those homes become available for the starter homes. The other thing that Rotary's done and that has helped so many things. My wife and I have been on committees twice now to help refugees locate in Elkhorn. And we did 25 or a little bit more years ago. We helped some refugees from Kosovo to get here. And just in the last year and a half, or 2 years now, committee, but the year and a half, we've had, as you know, a family from Afghanistan living in Elkhorn, and they're actually leaving today. They're moving to California.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I'm done with this, I got to go take them to the airport. But they're actually the woman had a sister in Texas, and they had a relative in Sacramento, California. And they're all moving there to have more of a family close by. So I think it's a good move for them. But I can't say enough about the Elkhorn School District and how they have helped that family so much.
My son is going to be heartbroken because one of their children is a student at Jackson.
Yeah,
he's like best friends with him.
Suleiman?
Yes.
Suleiman is the only one of the family that is sad to be leaving. He says, I'm going to miss my friends.
Yeah, well, it was cute because he would come over. My daughter was playing softball, and I'd look. I'm like, "Where's Cal?" Like, not that I was worried about him. And him and Suleiman would be out playing soccer or throwing the football around, to occupy the time. Yeah. So,
and he's probably grown a foot since he got here.
He's
so tall. It's amazing.
He towered over my my 9-year-old.
But you asked about EEDA. I asked a little bit, but. That group is to do anything to help Elkhorn succeed. And after my retirement, I've got a lot of good skill in real estate. And so I'll share that with anybody that I can help at no cost. I mean, I finally let my license go this last year. I don't want to do any more work for money. Unfortunately, I don't need it. And I'm happy to help anybody that needs anything I can help with. So,
well, make sure you connect with Derek, because Waseda and Walworth County are working on a housing summit in the end of September,
and that was one of the things. You want to know what I did in retirement? My wife and I travel. I'm going to be in Japan when that's going on.
Good for you.
We travel all the time.
Rotary has something coming up this weekend, right?
Well, just happened to mention that, Das Fest is going on this weekend, and Rotary on Saturday morning has the Rotary Run to Das Fest. It's a 5K or a 2 mile walk or 5K walk. Anyway, it's not too late to join in. And actually at 77 now, I'm still going to run that 5K. So I did a practice one yesterday, and I'm still walking around with no ill effects. So I think I'll make it.
I'll tell you, John, you impress me every year. You usually run the Oktoberfest, the Das Fest, or one or the other. And I'm impressed that you're usually at the top of the heap every year.
Well, for my age group.
Well, I wasn't gonna. I was just gonna say,
That's
top.
all right.
You didn't have to add that.
My goal is just to be
John and I
upright. Yeah.
think too.
My goal is just to be upright at the end of it.
Yeah, I usually drive the lead vehicle for the DOS Fest ones.
Yeah.
You're usually ahead of me.
Well, hopefully, who knows?
Well, we're getting about to that time. Anything else, Mr. Anzalone, since you were a late arrival dealing with
Yeah, I apologize for that, but no, it's a pleasure having John. Knows so much about Elkhorn, so involved, a great civic leader. Yeah, proud to call him an alumni of Elkhorn Area School District. And yeah, thanks for taking some time.
You may not know, but I was actually on the school board for 6 years, a long, long time ago.
Well,
I did not know that. And Shelly Higgins just reminded us that Rotary is going to be at National Night Out tonight at the fairgrounds.
And I'm going to be there too. So we're going to promote two things. Rotary has an Operation Warm where we give out free, high-quality winter coats to kids that probably can't afford one. And we're going to be promoting youth exchange. So we'll be there in force in the North Building. So come and see us.
all right. So as we end here, we always close with thank yous. I'll start with Mr. Henderson. Any thank yous you want to give a shout out to?
Well, I think I'd like to thank all the friends I've had in Rotary all these years. You know, it's just been a wonderful, wonderful organization to be part of. I couldn't be prouder to be a Rotarian.
Mr. Anzalone.
I'm going to thank all of our civic organizations. I had a chance last weekend to work with the Lions Club, who did the pancake breakfast out of the Elkhorn Middle School, Rotary, Kiwanis. Yeah, we have a lot of great things going on in town in the area, in that civic arena, and thanks to all their work.
And I want to give a shout out and thanks to Chris Clapper and the Elkhorn Chamber for always hosting our economic development alliances, being a fellow Rotarian, and just being active in the community to do basically all the same things and lead on the same things we're trying to do and make a better Elkhorn and better Walworth County. So on that note, how do we always close? We just the way we start, with a noon whistle. Thank you, Mr. Henderson. John, I'm glad you made it. And everybody have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, John.